The Monster of Florence, Italy's longest-running mystery. In the late summer of 1968, the outskirts of Florence witnessed a series of mysterious crimes that shook the Tuscan countryside and terrified local residents. The media dubbed the perpetrator Il Mostro di Firenze, the Monster of Florence. Between August 21, 1968 and September 8, 1985, he targeted 8 couples seeking privacy in secluded areas, first shooting them with a .22 caliber pistol, then mutilating the female victims, removing parts of the genital skin, and sometimes the left breast. The first crime. Signa, August 21, 1968. That night, Antonio Lobianco, 29, and Barbara Locci, 32, were on a romantic date in their car near the town of Signa, west of Florence. A single bullet pierced Lobianco's head, causing Barbara to panic and attempt to flee. She was killed with additional shots and later subjected to mutilation. Horrifyingly, Locci's 6-year-old son was asleep in the back seat and survived, running in the night to a nearby house screaming for help. Subsequent murders: September 15, 1974. Borgo San Lorenzo, Pasquale Gentilcore, 19, and Stefania Pettini, 18, were shot and killed. Pettini was stabbed 96 times, and her genital area was mutilated. June 6, 1981. Scandicci, Giovanni Foggi, 30, and Carmela Denuccio, 21, were killed. The female victim was mutilated post-mortem. October 23, 1981. Calenzano, Stefano Baldi, 26, and Susanna Cambi, 24, were attacked. Cambi's skin was cut open after the shooting. June 19, 1982. Montespertoli. Paolo Mainardi, 22, was shot multiple times, and Antonella Migliorini, 20, was wounded by 2 bullets. Doctors failed to save Mainardi. The killer was likely interrupted and could not complete the mutilation. September 9, 1983. Giogoli, German students. Jens Uwe Rusch and Horst Meyer were killed by gunfire only, with no visible mutilation. July 29, 1984. Vicchio, Claudio Stefanacci, 21, and Pia Rontini, 18, were murdered in the same pattern. Rontini was mutilated post-mortem. September 8, 1985. Scopetti, French tourists Jean-Michel Kravaishvili, 25, and Nadine Morio, 36, were found shot and stabbed. A breast was removed and mailed, considered further evidence. Suspects and theories. Stefano Mele, husband of the first victim, Barbara Locci, was convicted in 1970 and sentenced to 14 years in prison. However, as the murders continued while he was incarcerated, doubts about his guilt arose. Pietro Pacciani was charged with 7 of the murders, 1974 to 1985, after ballistic evidence and circumstantial links were found. He was convicted in 1994 and sentenced to life, but acquitted in 1996. He died before retrial. Mario Vanni and Giancarlo Lotti were later arrested and convicted in 2000 for 4 of the later murders. Their convictions relied largely on Lotti's confessions and other inconsistent testimonies. In the early 2000s, a theory emerged suggesting the killings were part of a satanic cult collecting genital organs for ritualistic experiments. However, investigators pushing this theory failed to provide concrete evidence, and many deemed the claim exaggerated. Despite numerous judicial proceedings, many questions remain unanswered. The original murder weapon and the removed body parts were never recovered. DNA evidence is now seen as the most promising lead. In the summer of 2024, US media reported that newly analyzed samples revealed an unknown DNA profile that could reopen the case, CBS News. Victims' families are now demanding an official reinvestigation to finally uncover the truth. The Monster of Florence has become a dark legend in Italian memory, where fear mingles with frustration pain with hope. And though over half a century has passed since the first killing, hope persists that this unknown DNA may finally speak and bring closure to this decades-old tragedy.